Hey everyone, my name is Sgr and today I'll be talking about the autonomous weapons, especially the Samsung Sgr A1, and why it has become one of the most controversial examples of artificial intelligence in modern warfare. Before we begin, I'd like to mention that all the information, articles, websites, books, and videos I use for this presentation will be listed at the end of the video, if you'd like to learn more or verify any of the information yourself. I'm also a video editor, so I wanted to present this topic as a short documentary instead of a traditional slideshow. When someone says Samsung, what do you think of? A phone? A TV? Maybe a refrigerator? Believe it or not, Samsung also helped develop a military sentry robot. I actually discovered this while reading an article called Pros and Cons of Autonomous Weapons System. Amitai Etzioni and Orion Etzioni. Buried in the article was one sentence that mentioned something called the Samsung Sgr A1. At first, I thought there's no way Samsung made a military robot, so I started researching. I had never heard of it before, and honestly, I didn't even know Samsung had worked on military technology. The more I researched it, the more I realized this wasn't just about one robot. It was about a much bigger question. The Sgr A1 was developed in the mid-2000s to help South Korea monitor the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, which separates North and South Korea. The border is one of the most heavily guarded places in the world. Instead of asking soldiers to watch every section of the border 24 hours a day, engineers designed the Sgr A1 to assist them. Let me tell you how it is. Imagine you're walking near the border between North and South Korea. The camera spots you. A machine locks onto you. It can recognize movement. It can detect heat. It can even identify whether you're carrying a weapon. The only question left is, should it decide whether you live or die? This is a Korean Demilitarized Zone, or the DMZ. It's one of the most heavily guarded borders in the world. Before, tensions between the two countries have existed for decades. South Korea has invested heavily in border security. One of those security systems is called the Samsung Sgr A1. When most people hear the name Samsung, they probably think of phones or televisions, but Samsung has also worked with South Korean defense industry to develop military technology. The Sgr A1 was designed to help monitor the DMZ by detecting possible intruders without placing soldiers in a constant danger. The DMZ stretches roughly 250 kilometers across the Korean peninsula. Because it is difficult and dangerous for soldiers to watch every part of the border 24 hours a day, South Korea began using automated surveillance systems to assist human guards. The Sgr A1 uses thermal cameras to detect body heat, allowing it to identify people even at night or during poor weather. Motion sensors help the system recognize movement over long distances. High-powered cameras allowed operators to zoom in and inspect suspicious activity. Built-in speakers allow the system to communicate with people it detects, warning them before any further action is taken. Once someone is detected, the turret can automatically track their movements while sending information back to the human operator. Although the Sgr A1 is capable of detecting and tracking targets automatically, reports indicate that a human operator must authorize the use of lethal force. At least, that's how it's designed to work today. The real question isn't what the Sgr A1 can do now, it's what systems like it might be able to do in the future. Before researching this topic, I thought autonomous weapons sounded like science fiction. Learning about the Sgr A1 completely changed my perspective. I think AI can absolutely help soldiers by detecting threats or monitoring dangerous areas, but I don't think it should ever make a final decision to use deadly force. As AI becomes more advanced, countries will continue developing autonomous weapons. Some experts believe they could become more accurate than humans. Others worry that removing humans from the decision-making process would create even bigger ethical and legal problems. Personally, I don't think the answer is banning AI completely. I think AI should continue helping soldiers by detecting threats, analyzing information, and improving safety. However, when it comes to using deadly force, I believe meaningful human control should always remain part of the decision. Technology will always continue to evolve. The real question isn't whether autonomous weapons will become more advanced, it's whether we're willing to let machines make decisions that were once only made by humans. Now let's talk about a debate. So the pros are, it protects soldiers, never gets tired, it has a faster reaction, and watches the border 24/7. The cons are, can make mistakes, doesn't understand surrender, accountability problems, and ethical concerns. Which side do you agree with? The international humanitarian law exists to reduce suffering during war. One important rule says soldiers must tell the difference between civilians and combatants. Another says military attacks shouldn't cause unnecessary harm to civilians. The question is, can a machine really understand those situations? Thank you for watching.